Hello everyone, and welcome back to the podcast. Today, we're going to talk about something many people think about, but don't always understand: why modern dating feels so hard. If you've ever felt confused, tired, or even a little frustrated with dating, you're definitely not alone. Many people today feel the same way. Even though we have more apps, more choices, and more ways to meet people than ever before, dating often feels more complicated instead of easier. So in this episode, we'll explore why that is. We'll look at a few key reasons, and hopefully by the end, you'll feel a bit more relaxed and maybe even more confident about your own dating experience. Let's begin. First, let's talk about choice. Today, we live in a world of endless options. Dating apps give us access to hundreds, sometimes thousands, of potential partners. At first, this sounds amazing, right? More choice should mean more chances to find the right person. But actually, too much choice can create a problem. When we have too many options, it becomes harder to decide. You might start talking to someone, but then you think, what if there's someone better just one swipe away? This makes it difficult to focus on one person and really get to know them. Also, having many choices can make people feel less satisfied. Even if you meet someone nice, you might still feel unsure. You might think, maybe I can do better. This constant comparison can stop real connections from growing. So instead of helping us, too much choice can make dating more stressful. Now, let's move to the second reason: dating apps and technology. Technology has completely changed how we meet people. In the past, people often met through friends, family, work, or everyday life. Today, many relationships start online. Dating apps are convenient, but they also have downsides. One big issue is that people can feel like products. You look at photos, read short descriptions, and quickly decide if you like someone or not. This can make dating feel less personal and more like shopping. Because of this, people sometimes judge others too quickly. Maybe someone doesn't have the perfect photo, or maybe their profile isn't very exciting. But in real life, they could be funny, kind, and interesting. Another problem is that communication is often through messages. It's easy to misunderstand someone's tone in a text. A simple message can sound cold or rude, even if the person didn't mean it that way. And sometimes, people just disappear. This is called ghosting. You might have a great conversation with someone, and then suddenly, they stop replying. This can feel confusing and hurtful. So while technology makes it easier to meet people, it can also make dating feel less human. Let's look at another important factor: expectations. In modern dating, many people have very high expectations. Of course, it's good to know what you want. But sometimes, we expect too much from one person. We want someone who is attractive, successful, funny, kind, emotionally intelligent, and always available. That's a lot to ask from one human being. Social media also plays a role here. We often see perfect couples online, beautiful photos, romantic trips, happy moments. But we don't see the problems, the arguments, or the boring everyday life. This can create unrealistic ideas about relationships. When real life doesn't look like those perfect images, people may feel disappointed. It's important to remember that no relationship is perfect. Every couple has challenges. Real love is not about perfection, but about understanding, patience, and effort. Now let's talk about another reason: fear. Many people today are afraid of getting hurt. Maybe they had a bad experience in the past. Maybe they saw their parents' relationship fail. Or maybe they just feel uncertain about trusting someone. Because of this fear, people may avoid getting too close. They might keep things casual, or they might leave when things start to feel serious. On the other hand, some people are afraid of being alone. This fear can make them stay in relationships that are not healthy, or rush into something too quickly. Fear can push people in different directions, but in both cases, it makes dating more difficult. Let's also talk about communication. Good communication is very important in any relationship. But today, communication can be confusing. People don't always say what they feel. Instead, they may send mixed signals. For example, someone might act very interested one day, and then distant the next. This can leave the other person wondering, what is happening? Do they like me or not? Also, many people are not taught how to talk about their emotions. They may feel something, but not know how to express it clearly. This can lead to misunderstandings, frustration, and sometimes conflict. Clear and honest communication is not always easy, but it is one of the most important parts of a healthy relationship. Another reason modern dating feels hard is timing. Sometimes, you meet the right person at the wrong time. Maybe one person is ready for a serious relationship, but the other is focused on their career. Or one person wants to settle down, while the other wants to travel and explore. Even if two people like each other, if their life situations are different, it can be difficult to make the relationship work. Timing is something we cannot fully control, and that can be frustrating. Let's not forget about independence. In the past, people often depended on relationships for financial or social reasons. Today, many people are more independent. They have their own careers, goals, and lifestyles. This is a very positive change. But it also means that relationships are more of a choice, not a necessity. Because of this, people may be less willing to compromise. They have built a life they enjoy, and they don't want to change it too much for someone else. Finding a balance between independence and partnership can be challenging. Now, let's take a moment to reflect. If modern dating feels hard, it's not because there is something wrong with you. It's because the world of dating has changed in many ways. There are more choices, more technology, higher expectations, and different lifestyles. All of these factors make dating more complex. But here's the good news. Even though dating can be difficult, meaningful relationships are still possible. People still fall in love. People still build strong, happy partnerships. So what can you do to make dating feel a little easier? First, try to focus on quality, not quantity. Instead of talking to many people at the same time, take your time to get to know one person properly. Second, be realistic. No one is perfect, and that's okay. Look for someone who shares your values and treats you well, not someone who fits an ideal image. Third, communicate clearly. Say what you feel, and don't be afraid to ask questions. Good communication can prevent many problems. Fourth, be patient. Finding the right person often takes time. It's normal to have some disappointing experiences along the way. And finally, take care of yourself. Your happiness should not depend only on a relationship. When you feel good about your own life, dating becomes less stressful and more enjoyable. Before we finish, I want to leave you with one thought. Dating is not just about finding the right person. It's also about becoming the right person. Learning about yourself, growing, and understanding what you truly need. So even if your dating journey feels difficult right now, it is still valuable. Every experience teaches you something. Thank you so much for listening today. I hope this episode helped you understand modern dating a little better and maybe made you feel less alone. If you enjoyed this episode, feel free to come back for more. Until next time, take care of yourself, and remember, real connections take time, but they are worth it.